something. All right, we good. All right, hey, how's it going, everybody? Millennials lead the way. We are back here with a interesting update. As you guys can see from the screen, did a couple of redemptions, and you know, think it's about time, man. But we'll talk about that later. As far as like the account update, right now I'm sitting at like $33,000, basically a little less than my returns. So basically, the only thing I have in my account at this point is the returns that I made, from Fundrise, basically. So everything in here is just returns. I took the remainder of my principal out of this account, and you know, I don't know, man. Like I've been thinking a lot about it, and I just kind of I don't necessarily see a reason in staying in Fundrise, man. At least not seriously, man. I found better investments. Not only that, but a lot of the stuff they started out with doesn't necessarily hold true to today. And push comes to shove, you can see my return, right? So, and that's me. That I started in 2017 with this account, right? It's not really coming from somebody that joined yesterday and their account dropped. I didn't really take money out of this account because it started dropping. If you guys saw my last video, man, the reason I took money out is because I don't feel that Fundrise can really do anything for me in the long term, man. And I'll kind of bring you back to, realistically, you can look at any of these funds, and I'll continue to ask just one question, like, where do you think this net asset value is going to be, right? Where do you think it's going to be, and how many shares do you need for it to mean anything? Now, for some of y'all that are just out here stealing oxygen, coming up with excuses on why you should hold for the long term, even though your replacement is coming, right? For some reason, and I'm talking to you, and this could be anybody, white people, like, actually, yeah, I'm talking to you, white people, and black people first, and then secondly, white people. You will be replaced. They all of them will come here, right? And they are being strategically placed around the nation, and they're gonna multiply faster than COVID, right? You can assume that each and every single one of them is gonna impregnate someone, and they're gonna multiply. And whatever jobs they can't cover, this will, right? This is just two of like many factors that weighs against my daily decisions on what I decide to do with money, right? So when a company like Fundrise decides to continue to take from investors and they don't give anything back to investors, right? And I've kind of developed this over the years, right? Like this didn't just pop up yesterday. They kind of lock your money in here and they give you minuscule returns, right? They can't really guarantee you nothing in the future, and they don't give you anything when times get hard. So the only question I ask myself is, why do I hang out at this point? Right? I think I've already missed enough opportunities that I've found that I could have taken advantage of, but my money was locked in here. And, if you guys been subscribed to me, you know what my mindset is, debt free, get your emergency fund, increase your income, and increase your savings rate. I'm not necessarily for the whole diversifying aspect. I like to put all my eggs in one basket because that's how compounding interest works, right? It doesn't work when you keep dividing your assets. That's why I have more than most people at my age, you know? So, yeah, but, long story short, and, I'll even go to this letter right here, And this letter, man, this letter kind of like justified what it is I was talking about, And when I can kind of foresee what's going to be said in these updates, when I'm proving myself right, it means like something's wrong, right? So again, this is your typical letter that shows the same information, none of which can tell you how we're protecting investors, how we're going to get you your return. At a bare minimum, they can't tell you how they can at least maintain some type of return, right? Right? Like I don't feel like Fundrise puts investors first. It's just you can't fight the Fed. You can't do X. You can't do Y. You can't do Z. But I understand the mindset of these board members versus you, the average sheep, are two different things, right? I know that back in 2017, this whole platform looked different. As in, once upon a time, there was a tab where you could see who the institutional investors were. You could see them. There was a list of people, all different faces, right? A couple Asian dudes in there, white dudes, a couple women. I even screenshotted that page, right? And I took my time to research a lot of these people. And I never really talked about it until now. I'm sure they're getting paid, right? But you are not getting paid, right? And there was one phrase in here that kind of caught my attention. And it shows me that Fundrise is starting to follow suit of a lot of these larger financial firms where they kind of blame the investor if you try to sell. So if you try to sell, they're going to kind of throw these passive aggressive comments to you that kind of lets you know, hey, listen, you don't know what you're doing if you're selling during like low times. And again, man, that's just like the same rhetoric that like these larger financial institutions do. And that's something I kind of want to stay away from, man. And I'll say it again. I said it in my last video, and I'll say it in this one. Once these financial firms get to a certain level where they no longer need sheeple, it won't really matter what your opinion is. Not to say your opinion matters today. But once Fundrise gets to a level, and we're starting to see that a little bit, right? We're starting to see these large banks, which are known for some sketchy stuff, loaning them excess amounts of money. And they're going to become more accountable to a bank than they are the individual investor. At this point in the game, you, the sheeple, are the product, right? You are what these financial firms leverage everything against, right? The 2 million people, right? Some of you fucking $10 investors in there that I told you, you adding $10 to your account doesn't help you. It helps Fundrise, right? You are the leverage. So at what point, how do you know that you're being placed first if you can't be protected during the rough times, right? If we know rents are getting paid, if we know, let me see something. Where is it at? If we know they're increasing rents, we know this. We can see it. The data's here. Right? So we know they're increasing rents. We know people are paying rents. And this is even more strange. They're buying REITs. So I'm just, I don't know, bro. Like I said, man, I don't know. I don't know. I just find it really difficult to see how they can barely pay us anything when they're getting that much money back in dividends, right? And I'll kind of tie it back into, let's say, this flagship fund right here. Like, look at this right here. Look at this. All right. Now, some of y'all are gonna say, "Hey, listen." Some of y'all are gonna be like, "Hey, millennials lead the way." I get it. You're a fucking amateur, right? But here's how real estate works. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be the first one to get this heat coming, right? Because you're sitting here making excuses for financial firms, right? I promise you, these guys will get you before they get me. This will come and get you before they get me. You will be forced into my field before I have to go to where you work at, right? You'll be forced to probably come to the military because there won't be any more jobs before I have to succumb to whatever fuckery you're talking about, right? So before you guys keep making excuses on why firms can't give people a return, hey man, you can assume whatever it is. But again, I don't care about the near term. At this point, it's about what can I see long term, right? And I don't do this with every investment. I only do this with Fundrise because this is what Fundrise claims that they can give, right? I don't plan on treating other investments like this because that's not what they claim to do, right? What Fundrise is claiming and what they've been claiming to do is that they're separate from the public stock market, right? And their chart, I guess, made us believe that was the case. I don't know if that was actually the case. It just made us believe that was the case. But what do I think this is going to look like long term? More importantly, what is Fundrise going to look like long term in regards to how you're going to benefit to it? Right? Is this net asset value going to go to 10 billion and this is going to say $13? If so, do you think that's fair? You think that's reasonable? Are you willing to bet that the board members at Fundrise, the ones that Fundrise have to answer to, which it isn't us anymore, it's not you, right? Fundrise does not answer to people like us. They now answer to big banks. With the amount of money they're borrowing at this point, they are answering to big banks, right? How do you think you will benefit? Where do you think this net asset value will be at? Because you guys saw, I don't really want to open these up, but you guys saw, like, if you go to my last video, you can see how many shares I owned of this flagship fund. And you can just play with the math. I'll let you play with the math. Go to my last video, look at like how many shares I own to the flagship, and then just play with the numbers. Right? Times whatever crazy number, and then times it by however many shares. And then try to equate that to what it is you're doing in your account. And you tell me if it's worth it. Again, if you're playing the whole diversifying game, we ain't got nothing to talk about. But if you're serious about wealth building, if you're trying to get to the next level, this is something you should be thinking about, right? A lot of y'all don't have the time to sit around and think about this stuff. Some of y'all got families. Some of y'all got ungrateful spouses that God bless. Some of y'all got loud kids that you can't get no peace. But with a guy like me, I got nothing but time, man. It's nice and quiet where I'm at. Right? I can see clearly. I can think clearly. I remember everything. All right? And this is what's coming to the front. Right? I'm starting to see how the game of chess is being played. Right? And these windows are closing, bro. Right? We on Gen 2 right now. This is not to include what they're doing up there in Boston at a lot of these firms, right? A lot of these schools, MIT, right? I used to work with a lot of those engineers up there. They're building some scary shit. I'm not, you know, I don't think legally I can even talk about what they're doing. But if you think this is like frightening, which maybe some of y'all don't think it's frightening, even though this thing got a full-blown fucking hand, they got 5 fingers now, you'd be, all right, I'm telling you, man, you'd be nervous to see what they're doing up there in MIT, right? Only God knows what Google is creating in some fucking underground mountain in Silicon Valley. Right? Google probably already has some fucking Terminator T-1000 down there just fucking ready. So, you know, but just staying on topic though, man, at the end of the day, I didn't take everything out. You know, will I keep doing updates? Maybe. But, you know, I think my hard-earned cash is going to go somewhere else where they, one, place investors first, and two, I can get ahead, right? Because, again, like, we're being closed in. We're being boxed in. It's a game of chess. Every single day, you're losing an opportunity, and there's no more room for making excuses for anybody, right? I'm a reasonable person, and it's well within my right to break contact if I don't feel like I'm going to benefit with this company, right? So, plus real estate is one of those things that I never really, I don't know, man, just something about real estate, man, I'm just not digging, man, you know? I kind of feel like when the information becomes free, it's because you can no longer pose a threat, right? I kind of feel like when people would, like when some of these like high target individuals would set these courses so high, it's because like if too many people knew about real estate, it would kind of ruin a lot of stuff. But when you got a person like Grant Cardone that gets on YouTube and gives out all this free information, it does get you excited, but it makes you wonder why, you know? Like that same information he's giving out for free, he once charged $50,000 a ticket just to get that information. Now he's giving it out for free, which means I don't even think you can compete when it comes to real estate. Another thing is, man, I don't care about houses. If you guys have been following me for this long, you guys know that I do not care about a house. I think a house is probably one of the useless things in America. It's not an asset for you, it's an asset for a bank. You do not own your house. After 30 years of you paying interest to a bank, assuming you don't get divorced, which we know those stats, assuming you don't die before you pay it off, even when you do pay it off, and even if you do pass away, you need to understand like what this world's going to look like 30 years from now. You need to understand what the economy is going to look like 30 years from now. Right? And you can sit here and you can work for this quote unquote generational wealth only for your children to sell all that shit 2 years later after you die. Or get married, get divorced, and half of it get taken by somebody else. All right? So these homes are just making banks more powerful. It's making financial institutions like Fundrise more powerful, and they're giving people crumbs. Right? Again, I get it. I get it, man. I get it. You only been in here 7 years, man, and you're fucking bitching about returns. Yeah, when's the last time you had 300,000, bro, in your hand? Right? Not owing to a bank, easily accessible in your account that you can go do whatever the fuck you want to do with. Probably never. Right? And there's you only get here so many ways. Right? Especially in your early 30s. And you're not going to do it with these old mindsets. I promise you. Right? And this is for anybody that is listening. I'm just telling you right now, man. If you're trying to go down the path of these old traditional ways, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. I don't even know what the hell this says, but you're taking a risk, right? You're betting that these old traditional ways is gonna shield you from the inevitable. You're hoping that the traditional ways is going to help you fit in to this new world. That's what you're saying to me. When you tell me I should wait long term. When you tell me I should sit back and wait 20 years, that's what you're telling me. Right? And I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to sit back, be a good little sheep, and put money into a retirement account that's going to be the biggest disappointment of the millennial generation. It's not going to happen, man. Right? You know, we got too much technology out here. You can find the answers in real time. All you have to do is read. Right? And you're going to learn that a lot of stuff ain't adding up. Right? So, obviously, you guys do whatever the hell it is you want to do. You don't have to do what I do. It don't matter to me, man. You know, I'm not responsible for your well-being. And whether you make it or not won't matter to me. All right? Because I'm a firm believer of natural selection. So, you know, this whole update may have sounded like a rant. But again, I don't hate Fundrise. It's just, listen, bro, like listen, if I can't get results, I'm going to keep moving. The game in 2024 is called momentum. Right? That's what 2024 is called. It's called momentum. If you ain't got it, then you should probably work on getting it. All right? So, before we get up out of here, remember, what we focus on is becoming debt-free you high as fuck if you ain't debt free already. But whatever. Become debt free. Get your emergency fund. Increase your income, and maintain a high savings rate. Right. At some point, you're gonna have a lot of cash to do a lot of good things with. Right. And once you start seeing bigger numbers moving around, things are gonna start making more sense. All right. Things can't make sense when you got $10 in an account. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this money in here, I think, and I'll keep doing quarterly updates to kind of see where things kind of lie. I intentionally left money in these e-REITs right here because, one, they were kind of the original ones that I first started with, and I want you guys to see what comes of these e-REITs, right? By the way, they don't give any information at all about any of this stuff. I guess you can go down here and, check on it. But, it's been all quiet on the front lines over here. So, and this one, hold up, man. Hold up. I was about to end the video, but I completely forgot about this one. Hold up, man. No. Because, actually, there's two more things I want to talk about. I know this video about to be stupid long. This opportunistic credit fund. Hey, there was one of you, there was somebody that commented on my video, and they were like, it looks like you don't understand investments, how these investments work. You have to be an accredited investor to invest in this stuff. Listen, man. Fundrise's big thing when they came on the scene was giving people access to these high value assets that you originally couldn't invest in. More importantly, they talked about making things an even playing field when it comes to like the everyday investor. And over the years, they've kind of rolled back on that mentality, and they've slowly started to like do stuff like this. Right? Where, again, no different than what was happening in the public markets or these other private funds where you have to be an accredited investor to get the highest return. Right? Which I want you guys to look at my Energia account. And I want you to kind of look at what happens in this account. I don't think there's anybody on YouTube that kind of shows what their how their portfolio performs in here, but I think I saw like somebody in that Reddit post, which God help you, man, if you are reading those Reddit posts, man. Like, that is like slowly turning into a cult of sheeple, where if you come in there and you doubt Fundrise, you gonna get tore up, man. You gonna get tore up. So, and you got some trolls in there. You got some trolls in there that come in there. They rally up. They get the sheep all riled up. But you got some people that come in there and they ask legit questions. But I think there's more trolls than people that ask legit questions. So I don't really have too much to say on the Reddit threads. But every once in a while, like, I'll look at it and there'll be some pretty reasonable questions. But to get back to this, where's this damn fund at, dude? Where you at? Where you at? There you go. Listen, man. Come on, man. Y'all know I have had my doubts about this damn fund. I'm talking about, I think it was maybe the third video I've ever made on Fundrise on YouTube. I was questioning some of the properties uh, that was in this damn portfolio. And then I questioned, what was the real purpose behind this portfolio? I'm reading what Fundrise is saying. Okay? I'm reading the offerings. I'm doing it at least once a month. Because I understand that when I go through it the first time, that shit is foreign. But each time I go through it, it starts to make more and more sense. And then I come back to this. Right? And you guys know how I feel about California, bro. You know, you look at any one of these properties in California, and it just makes you wonder, man. You know, I've actually met some people that actually sold properties for this LLC in particular. I think it was like the LA fund. Yeah, one of the guys joined the army, and he was telling me he actually sold a couple properties for here, and he got a good chunk. Let me tell you something. He got paid pretty good. Right? Again, this was another reason why I was kind of raising the eyebrow. So, but you know, it's just stuff like this, man. Like this Fundrise E-Fund, man. You know, they just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. But I think that's all I got, man. I think that's all I got. Again, I'll keep doing updates, man. The extra money that I took out of here, though, I think I'm trying something new. And while I will record it, I won't really post it on YouTube. And I'm not gonna post it on YouTube for the fear of it not working, because I do believe it's gonna work, but I don't want people to follow me. Because I'm a firm believer. And although I don't have any proof, and I don't care to find the proof, I do believe that while all people may not watch my videos, I do believe the right people watch my videos. And because the right people watch my videos, I don't want to reveal my trump card. So, with that being said, or until I've gotten to a good spot. Once I get to a good spot, I'll start rolling out the videos in monthly increments. All right? So, if things are going good, you won't see it. It's only when I hit that peak when you'll start to see it. So, it's a little project I'm working on. I'm going to make my first video here soon. This will be the only time I talk about it on this page or on this video. You'll never hear me talk about it. You'll only see the video, right? So, like I say, I don't know when that's going to be. But if you're still here, I hope you had a good year. I hope you continue to have, a good year. Stay focused, stay disciplined. Be careful who you associate yourself with. Don't hang around a bunch of fucking quitters, right? Don't hang around people that talk to quitters. And remember, man, there's always something better. And with enough discipline, bro, I promise it'll pay off, man. If you're one of those people that look to a bright future, then it's worth it. But if you're one of these fucking Looney Tunes out here that, you're excited for chaos, and maybe you think you're going to be like the head honcho in a Mad Max universe, you'll be the first one that gets this horde. All right? So, but yeah, man, that's all I got, man. So, millennials, lead the way.